Under a blazing sun, Babylon teems with life. Merchants hawk wares, voices rise in a vibrant symphony of commerce. Citizens in colorful robes weave through crowded streets, their faces reflecting the city's relentless energy. Towering ziggurats and carved walls display Babylon's grandeur, testaments to its ancient power. Amidst the throng, Daniel walks, his noble bearing setting him apart from the bustling crowd. Daniel's kind eyes observe the vibrant tapestry of Babylonian life, capturing its beauty and chaos. The city pulses with life, a grand stage where ambition and destiny intertwine under the watchful sun. In the grand royal court, King Darius sits upon his throne, a figure of power and authority amidst his loyal advisors. Sunlight streams through the towering windows, illuminating the ornate details of the throne room. Daniel stands respectfully, a beacon of calm wisdom in the bustling court. King Darius listens intently, his gaze fixed upon Daniel, valuing the counsel he offers. The air is thick with anticipation, the fate of the kingdom hanging in the balance. Every word, every gesture, carries weight in this pivotal moment. Sunlight streams into Daniel's study, illuminating swirling dust motes above stacks of ancient texts. Lost in study, Daniel pauses, the weight of forgotten knowledge etched on his brow. With reverence, he gently closes his eyes, a moment of solemn reflection. In the sun-drenched silence, Daniel bows his head, a silent prayer escaping his lips. In the grand royal court, Belshazzar and Nebuchadnezzar are surrounded by courtiers, a palpable tension filling the air. Their eyes lock, a silent exchange fraught with envy and ambition. King Darius gestures expansively toward Daniel, his powerful voice echoing through the hall. Darius's booming praise highlights Daniel, intensifying the silent conflict among the royal figures. Within the leaders' chambers, shadows dance, partially concealing Belshazzar and Nebuchadnezzar. A dimly lit room filled with conspiratorial silence. The air hangs heavy with unspoken plots against Daniel. Their faces, etched with determination, reflect the flickering candlelight. Secrecy cloaks every corner as they finalize their treacherous plans. Flickering light dances in the leaders' chambers, casting long, ominous shadows that stretch and distort across the cold stone walls. The air hangs heavy, thick with unspoken plots and simmering resentments, as the dim light reveals Belshazzar's calculating gaze. Belshazzar's voice cuts through the silence, a venomous whisper. "We must find a way to bring Daniel down." His words drip with envy and ambition. "The king trusts him too much," he adds, his eyes narrowed in dark contemplation. Nebuchadnezzar nods slowly, his face etched with a grim resolve, silently agreeing to the treacherous scheme. The shadows deepen as the two leaders conspire, their plot weaving a web of deceit in the heart of the palace. Sunlight bathes the Babylonian streets in gold, dust motes swirling as Daniel walks, unaware of the eyes upon him. The leaders trail Daniel, their ornate robes, a stark contrast to the city's gritty reality. Their eyes, sharp as hawks, dissect Daniel's every move, their frustration growing with each step. Leader one's face tightens, his voice a low growl. "He is faultless. It is infuriating." Leader two clenches his fists, struggling to maintain composure. How can a man be so clean? The leaders watch, their envy and anger simmering beneath the surface as Daniel continues, oblivious to their dark intentions. Dim light dances across the leaders' chambers, shadows stretching like grasping fingers on the ancient stone. Nebuchadnezzar stands, lost in thought, his face etched with worry as he contemplates their dilemma. Belshazzar watches him, a sly grin playing on his lips, hinting at the darkness within. Nebuchadnezzar sighs, admitting, "We will never find anything against Daniel unless it has to do with his faith in God." Belshazzar's eyes gleam with cruel intent as he states, "Then that is what we shall exploit." The flickering light seems to dim further, as if recoiling from the dark plot being hatched. The royal court hums with low whispers as jealous leaders gather, their presence a storm cloud over King Darius. Each bow is a calculated move, a mask of respect barely concealing the seething envy beneath. Faces are carefully composed, betraying nothing of the dark plots brewing in their hearts. The grand hall, a stage for veiled treachery, awaits the unfolding drama. The royal court buzzes with anticipation as King Darius sits upon his throne, his gaze sweeping across the assembled courtiers. Murmurs ripple through the hall, a symphony of hushed voices awaiting the king's decree. Belshazzar steps forward, his voice ringing out with calculated reverence. "O king, live forever. We propose a law that for the next 30 days, all must pray only to you," Belshazzar declares, his eyes gleaming. A hush falls over the court as all eyes turn to King Darius, awaiting his response to Belshazzar's bold proposition. King Darius pauses, his expression unreadable as he considers the implications of such a decree. In the resplendent royal court, King Darius wields the quill, poised to seal a decree with his royal signature. Unaware of the dark plot swirling around him, the king's hand moves with unwavering trust and authority. The pen glides across the parchment, each stroke echoing with the weight of royal decision. The royal stamp descends, a symbol of power and finality, pressing firmly onto the decree. The document is sealed, its fate intertwined with the hidden agendas of those who surround the oblivious king. Under the blazing sun, town criers in vivid robes stride, their voices amplified by the towering ziggurats. The air vibrates with the echo of the new law, a stark decree cutting through the daily clamor of Babylon. A sea of faces turns toward the criers, a mix of awe and confusion rippling through the crowd. Merchants pause, their bartering silenced as the weight of the proclamation settles upon them. Children cease their games, their innocent eyes wide, with a dawning understanding of change. Babylon holds its breath, the fate of its citizens hanging in the balance as the law reverberates. Sunlight floods Daniel's room, illuminating dust and shadows as he sits, listening intently. The weight of the new law settles on Daniel's face, a grim understanding dawning in his eyes. Danger looms, yet a quiet resolve hardens his features, faith unwavering. Daniel prepares, his spirit unyielding in the face of impending adversity. With purpose in his stride, Daniel approaches the window, a sense of resolve etched on his face. Sunlight floods the room as Daniel throws open the windows facing Jerusalem, illuminating the space. He kneels, his face upturned towards the heavens, radiating a profound sense of devotion. In silent prayer, his lips move with reverence, connecting to something beyond the room. Bathed in golden light, Daniel's silhouette embodies faith and unwavering dedication. Sunlight floods Daniel's home, motes of dust swirling in the golden beams. Daniel stands tall, his face etched with resolve against the bright backdrop. His eyes reflect unwavering determination, a beacon in the sunlit room. Daniel's voice resonates with solemn conviction, breaking the silence. "O God, I will remain faithful to you, no matter the cost," he declares, a vow echoing in the light. From the shadows, jealous eyes fixate on Daniel's home, their gaze filled with envy and simmering rage. A clandestine gathering of leaders observes Daniel, their faces twisted in dark contemplation, plotting, unseen. They watch Daniel praying, a stark contrast to the malice festering in their hearts. Their eyes reflect the shadows within, as they scheme against the man kneeling in peaceful devotion. The throne room doors burst open, shattering the calm. Leaders, faces flushed with urgency, surge into the royal court. They rush towards King Darius, their excitement a palpable force. Anticipation hangs heavy in the air as they converge before the throne. Before the throne, Belshazzar stands, his voice echoing through the royal court. King Darius listens intently, his regal bearing masking a storm gathering within. Belshazzar's words cut through the air. "O king, Daniel has broken the law." A tense silence hangs as Belshazzar continues. He was praying to his God. Darius's expression darkens, the weight of Belshazzar's accusation heavy on him. The court holds its breath, awaiting the king's judgment. Sunlight paints the royal court as King Darius sits on his throne, a storm of worry brewing behind his furrowed brow. Dust motes dance in the golden light, illuminating the grim faces of the court leaders standing rigidly before their king. "I respect Daniel," King Darius begins, his voice echoing in the vast hall. His desperate plea hangs in the air. "Is there no way to change the law?" The leaders respond in unison, their faces unyielding. "The law is immutable, O king." Their words crash like thunder, sealing Daniel's fate within the cold, unbending structure of the kingdom's ancient laws. Sunlight floods the royal court as King Darius is hunched over ancient scrolls, his brow a landscape of furrows. He pores over law books, a desperate search for a loophole consuming him. Dust motes dance in the golden light, oblivious to the king's mounting frustration. Hours bleed into one another, each fruitless moment etching deeper lines of worry onto his face. Agitated gestures and muttered curses escape his lips. A king besieged by the unyielding law. Under a somber dusk sky, royal guards escort Daniel toward the ominous lion's den. The air grows heavy with foreboding as Daniel approaches his grim fate. Shadows lengthen, mirroring the growing tension as the den looms closer. An atmosphere of dread permeates the scene, a stark prelude to the night's trial. Dusk descends on the lion's den, casting long, ominous shadows that dance with the promise of danger. King Darius stands at the entrance, his noble face carved with deep worry. The air hangs heavy, thick with dread and unspoken prayers. Distant roars echo, a symphony of unseen beasts that tightens the knot of fear. "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you," Darius says, his voice a prayer against the encroaching darkness. Dust fills the air as a massive stone grinds, sealing the lion's den, the sound echoing in the twilight. Inside the den, Daniel is trapped, the heavy stone now his only companion as darkness descends. The king watches the ceiling of the den, his face a mask of despair in the fading light. The stone settles, a final thud that seals Daniel's fate. The silence, now deafening. Shadows lengthen across the den entrance, a stark reminder of the irreversible act. The king remains, his silhouette against the dusk, a figure of profound sorrow and regret. Inside the palace, King Darius roams his chamber, sleepless and troubled, his face etched with deep concern. He is haunted by worry for Daniel, his every step measured with unease and apprehension. Servants offer platters laden with food and goblets brimming with drink, a feast fit for a king. With a weary wave of his hand, Darius rejects their offerings, his appetite lost to anxiety. The untouched feast serves as a stark reminder of the heavy burden weighing on the king's heart. In the lion's den, Daniel kneels, a solitary figure silhouetted against the faint moonlight. Massive lions circle, their eyes gleaming like embers in the darkness, a silent threat. Muscles ripple beneath their fur as the beasts cautiously prowl around the kneeling man. A tense silence fills the den, amplifying the danger and Daniel's unwavering faith. Daniel's soft murmurs of prayer are the only sound besides the low growls of the lions. The powerful beasts hold back, their glowing eyes reflecting a strange, unnatural calm. In the lion's den, an angel descends, bathed in an ethereal, divine light. The sacred glow intensifies, casting long, dancing shadows across the cavernous den. Fear grips the hearts of the savage beasts as the angel's presence dominates. The lions cower, their roars silenced by the overwhelming power of the divine. With grace, the angel approaches Daniel, a beacon of hope in the darkness. In the dimly lit lion's den, long shadows dance as Daniel kneels in fervent prayer, his head bowed low. Suddenly, an angel appears, a radiant figure cutting through the darkness, filling the cavernous space with ethereal light. The lions, initially restless, freeze in their tracks, their wild eyes transfixed by the divine presence. The angel's voice echoes, a soothing balm in the tense atmosphere. Fear not, Daniel, for God has heard your prayers. A serene calm descends as the angel watches over Daniel, the lions subdued by the heavenly light. In the lion's den, Daniel stands unharmed, the fierce beasts now gentle around him, an aura of peace surrounding him. The lions, once symbols of terror, now rest peacefully, their massive forms a stark contrast to Daniel's serenity. Throughout the night, Daniel's unwavering faith echoes in his soft, constant prayer, filling the den. His voice, a low, steady hum, resonates with conviction as he seeks divine protection in the heart of danger. The cavernous space is filled with an otherworldly calm, the threat of the lions replaced by a palpable sense of hope. As darkness blankets the scene, Daniel's faith shines brighter, a beacon of resilience against the odds. Dawn breaks, casting long shadows as King Darius races towards the lion's den, his heart pounding with dread. The heavy gates of the den loom before him, a stark reminder of the night's agonizing events. His face, illuminated by the first rays of sun, is a mask of raw anxiety and desperate hope. Each step is fraught with the weight of his decision, the potential cost echoing in the morning air. He strains to hear any sound from within, his breath held captive by the looming silence. The fate of Daniel, and perhaps his kingdom, hangs in the balance as he approaches the den. Dawn breaks, painting the sky as King Darius arrives at the lion's den, his figure silhouetted against the awakening light. His voice booms, cutting through the morning calm, a desperate plea echoing into the stone depths of the den. Daniel, servant of the living God, Darius calls out, his words laced with a mixture of hope and dread. The heavy silence is broken only by the distant sounds of the awakening city, as all await a response. Has your God been able to rescue you from the lions? He asks, the fate of a loyal servant hanging in the balance. The first rays of sunlight pierce through the entrance, illuminating the ominous darkness within. Dawn breaks in the lion's den, casting a golden light upon Daniel, who stands serene and untouched. The lions, immense and powerful, lie calmly around him, their usual ferocity quelled. His voice rings with faith and triumph. O King, live forever. My God sent his angel. Daniel proclaims his salvation and shut the lions' mouths. I am unharmed. Dawn breaks over the lion's den, hope replacing despair. King Darius, face radiant with joy, commands the den stone to be moved. Muscles strain as the heavy stone is rolled aside, revealing the depth. Darius orders Daniel to be lifted from the den. Dawn breaks over the lion's den, casting long shadows. Daniel emerges, untouched, from the darkness. A collective gasp erupts from the awestruck crowd. The king's eyes widened in disbelief and relief. He rushes towards Daniel, a beacon of hope in his stride. The king embraces Daniel, a powerful symbol of faith. Sunlight paints the opulent royal court through stained glass as King Darius ascends his throne, a figure of power and command. The court holds its breath, anticipation hanging heavy in the air as King Darius prepares to address his subjects. His voice echoes through the chamber, resonating with authority and unwavering conviction. I hereby decree that every person within this kingdom shall honor and respect the God of Daniel, King Darius proclaims. A hush falls over the court, the weight of the king's decree settling upon every heart present. Sunlight floods the royal court, casting long shadows as King Darius surveys the bowing crowd, the air heavy with anticipation. A sea of faces turns toward King Darius, their expressions a mixture of awe and supplication as he prepares to speak. King Darius's voice rings out, resonating with power and conviction, for he is the living God, who rescues and saves. He performs signs and wonders, King Darius proclaims, his words echoing through the court, reinforcing the divine presence. Under the sun's gaze, Babylon thrives, a kingdom where Daniel serves with unwavering faith. Daniel's blessings and respect grow, radiating through the ancient city's bustling streets. I move through the heart of Babylon, embodying courage and steadfast belief. The city echoes with Daniel's legacy, a beacon of hope amidst grandeur. Each stone reflects Daniel's journey, a testament to his unwavering spirit. Babylon stands tall, a stage for Daniel's enduring faith and my silent observation.